back to Greenlands, and the first thing I want to have a look at is the custom spinnery production. I think that's what it's called. And what I've realized is that if you have the clothing cycle running as well as the fabric production, then the fabric you produce goes straight into clothing production, and you don't have the issue I had last time of trying to put pallets of fabric back in and then them respawning constantly. So that's cool, got that going now, and have 4 pallets of clothes, I think, and they're worth quite a lot of money, so that's really cool. Today's main job is going to be to sort out the mega field, also pointing out we have a lot of milk to sell later on as well, and we're going to use the money from selling the milk to populate the rest of the chicken sheds. So lots going on today. This is attempt number 2 at recording this commentary, because the first one was a bit rubbish in my opinion, so I am redoing it. I still am actually. I was really tired when I was recording it and it just didn't sound good, so doing it again. It's one of the benefits of this way of making videos. So fertilizer spreader is loaded up. I'm going to load up the lime spreader. We've got the Yan Cheaty one, which is really good for the mega field, because otherwise we'd be running backwards and forwards to the farm constantly to get lime, and I'd get a bit bored of that. So it's one of the things that sometimes I do find a bit, I guess it's realistic, but sometimes I get a little bit tired of it. Sometimes where you're constantly going backwards and forwards to refill stuff, and it doesn't happen very often with how I play, but yeah, it can be a bit annoying. And also think I need to get the brakes serviced on the class, because they occasionally don't break enough, or 12,000 litres of lime is quite heavy, or I'm not very good at driving. Anyway, so the plan is that follow me is coming in pretty hot there. Yeah, crash. No blame follow me for that one. Anyway, you'll notice there's a lot of tree flickering. Since recording this, I have fixed the tree flickering, clearing or disabling the NVIDIA cache in the settings in NVIDIA control panel has fixed that for me. I had turned off VSync, didn't need to do that, put VSync back on, all good, so pretty pleased with that. So yeah, apologies for the tree flickering. It's probably quite annoying if you're sensitive to that kind of thing. I do try and keep it off the screen as much as possible. So the plan is, I think I've cleared the shader cache, which is what that fade was. I'm going to have the fert spreader running on follow me, and I'm going to drive the lime spreader, and we're going to try and do this side area in one pass as much as we can. And I'll then use courseplay to do the lime on the mega field while we go and do some other jobs. Dropping the fert spreader is probably not the best thing for it, but I was kind of struggling to get it to turn on sometimes. Not sure why. I don't think I've had problems in the past, but I think I ended up using Control B, which turns on everything that's attached, and that seemed to sort it. So I don't think I had a problem later on. It's kind of weird. Actually, I think I do realise what it was. I think I had the shift or the alt key had got stuck. There, you see, because the icon for, must have been the alt key, because I was running, the icon for the store deliveries popped up. So that's probably what the issue is there. Anyway, let's make some progress. It's kind of random, doing this kind of random bit across the field, but precision farming will make sure we don't over apply anyway. So yeah, we're just going to get this field prepped, hoping that we will get a cut of grass off of this in the spring before we plant maize again. Not this area, obviously this area is going to stay. What I am going to do is, once the trees have grown in, I'm going to chop them all down. We're going to plant a wall of trees along the back. You'll see that a lot of fields need nitrogen. All our grass fields need some nitrogen sorting, and some of our other fields, and lime. So maybe over the winter we'll do some of those, and then a bunch more in the spring, because it's a lot of red, which is not good. Yeah, I might break out. I think the Platinum DLC has some new tree planting stuff, which I might break out and use, because it'd be nice to use some of the kit other than the big Volvo wheel loader we have on Attingham. Yeah, One of the other things that I find weird on this save, I don't know if you have it, the bunker silos render in really late, and every time I drive over it panics me because I think they're empty and they're not. Not sure what's going on there, but one of the things, bit of another random talking point, it was something that came up on something not at all farming simulator related. Some of you I've spoken about before, the YouTuber that I watch called, the channel is Camping with Steve. It's actually called Steve Wallace, I think. His wife passed away last year, unfortunately. Complete shock, surprise, and obviously he's taken it pretty hard. It happened just after he hit 1 million subscribers, and obviously he's taken a bit of a break, you know. Don't always want to do that kind of thing. And he's coming back and he's making videos, and they're obviously a little bit different. He's not, he's grieving still, clearly. It's not a surprise. And the bit that I want to talk about is he has a really good Facebook group, really active, mostly really nice people. And lots of people saying, oh, just take a break and, you know, come back when you're ready and all that kind of thing. And he's taken breaks. But he's making videos when he feels like it and when he wants to. And so I think that's an interesting comment that people are... I can't think of the right words to describe it, you know. I don't think people understand a few things about making YouTube videos. One, most people that make them because they enjoy them. If you're doing it for making money, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons, unless you've already got a huge channel, you know. Guys like... I don't know, I think most people that are successful start out because they want to, or because they enjoy it, rather than to just make money. And I'm pretty sure that he finds therapy he does camping videos. I think he gets some therapy from doing those camping videos and stuff. Probably brings a bit of normality to his life. It's also his job, and, you know, I'm not sure what it's like in Canada for kind of, you know, welfare and support and that kind of thing, but guy needs to make money. And the last one, which is the one that I'm kind of more interested in, is the whole YouTube algorithm thing and taking a break. You know, loyal people will always watch, will always come back. It's fine, you know. You know, and people say, oh, we'll still watch your videos, we still watch all your old ones on the Facebook page, but YouTube doesn't work like that. And if he suddenly took, you know, he's taken quite a lot of time off, understandably, again, he's maybe not the best example of where I'm trying to get at. It's just a channel that I really enjoy watching, so you should go watch his stuff if you want something to watch. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to is the whole people saying just take a break. Obviously I did at Christmas because I wasn't feeling good, and it took, even for, you know, for me, I'm not a big channel, it took quite a while to recover. I think if you've got a really big channel and you take a break, the YouTube algorithm is not going to be kind to you necessarily. So yeah, bit of a random meander there, completely random. It's just something that stuck in my mind, of people, you know, sometimes I make videos when I'm not feeling, that's just me showing that I've brought the soil map and I'm having to deal with, I cut a bit extra last time, and I didn't buy the soil map early enough, and I've over-limed some of it. It'll be okay. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this point. Something to do with, it's not always easy to just take a break. And sometimes just taking a break is not the right thing. You know, I enjoy making videos. It's fun for me, sometimes challenging, mostly fun. And it's a, you know, a pastime, a hobby, something I enjoy doing. I'm just going to get courseplay running with the lime spreader. And actually, one thing you'll notice in the left-hand corner where the chicken farm is now, because I have a custom field created, it's not updated for that change. So we're going to have to go into the courseplay field editor. I have a video on that, and there'll be a card popping up in a bit if you're interested in how to use it. This is not really a tutorial. This is me just trying to remember how to use it because I've not used it in ages. Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going with my random topic on this. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I thought I could chat about. And yeah, so personally, I'm really tired still at the moment. It's a combination of mostly a greyhound that doesn't want to sleep. So I'm only getting about 6 hours sleep a night at best at the moment, which is kind of tough. And then all of life, life is pretty hard at the moment. And yeah, I don't always feel my sparkliest. It's why I'm re-recording this, because the last one I did was not particularly good. So I'm hoping this one will be better. But we'll see. I guess either way you'll hear one of them. Probably this one, but we'll see. So what I'm doing here is I'm deleting all of the points that I don't want, and then we're going to use the move mode to select each end of this chunk, which runs through the chicken sheds. I was going to delete them all, but then I realized I wouldn't be able to get the ones that are in the chicken sheds. And so we're just going to move this whole chunk, and that sorts the field definition out for us. Now that I've drawn already the dirt headland around it, I could probably get Courseplay to auto-calculate it, but I thought this was the safest option to be able to make progress. I'm going to let Courseplay do the lime. I will come back and do the fertilizer in a bit. We have a few other jobs that I want to get done, namely selling that milk and buying lots of chickens and making mistakes with auto load. Yeah, stick around for that one, I guess. And I say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members at this point, which means I need to make a note of it so that I can re-edit that in the video, because it's probably at a different time to when it was last time. Really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. If you're interested in any of that, there are links below. If you join the Patreon, you get exclusive access to a Let's Play series on furling, which is kind of fun. It's a bit more chilled out, just kind of, it's like the recent Attingham videos. I generally record that sort of almost live. How a lot of people make farm sim videos. I call it almost live. So yeah, I don't pre-record the gameplay and then add the voice. So if you like that kind of stuff, go check it out. Or not, it's totally optional. Anyway, just getting a few of the missed bits of fertilising, and then we're going to have to run back to the yard and refill the fert spreader because we've used quite a lot. I think the nitrogen was pretty poor on here. You can see with the reason that although I want to move the tree line up to where these trees are, the reason I'm not going to turn this into a field is the terrain is quite undulating. We've really maximised the kind of flat land already. I have considered buying another chunk of the wasteland in the future. That said, I really don't want to be spending too much more money on stuff. We need to make progress on paying off our loan, because that's the whole point of this series, is to pay off that darn loan that we have sitting over us. So, yep. I'm going to park this up to refill and get some milk moved. We have 4.5 loads of milk to sell. I'm pondering a bigger trailer. Watch, it's going to get very cheaty if I do that. The Lizard TARDIS forage wagon that I was using, that was updated with a trailer pack that has basically a Joskin 8000 that holds 200,000 litres, which would mean I could have done this move in 1 and a bit tanks. But it's probably too cheaty, I think. So I'm sure there are bigger tankers out there that aren't ridiculous. And 50,000 litres is not bad. We're just producing so much milk that it's kind of silly. I think I worked out that it's 120 odd thousand litres a day. Yeah, it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. The price seems to be holding up really well for milk. It doesn't seem to vary too much, so I'm just selling it whenever. I think there was actually a great demand on at this point, so we're getting nearly 67,000 per tanker load, which is pretty cool, I think. So we're going to make you know, probably not quite 300 grand out of this. So yeah, that is going to let us buy the chickens, because wait, those chickens were way more expensive than I thought. But I think they're going to make a good return for us. And having, you know, I'm not going to buy the I'm going to buy 2,500 for each shed. So we'll have to wait a couple of months for the rest of them to breed. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of eggs by the time it's full. Or all three are full. If you missed that, that was inspired by the Oaks and the chicken farm on there, which is kind of like that. I think it's got 4 of those big sheds. And I've not seen, I guess, Green Bale's map. They've got pirated into 22 and then taken down. The northern coast, that was it. I had to stop so I could go and look it up. Didn't remember. But that has reminded me something really cool is coming, and the benefit of me being able to re-record this. Warbeck is going to Mod Hub soon, and the guy that's been making it, whose name I have forgotten because I'm awful at names or doing the official convert, MS Modding, has put in grazing for some of the sheep and cow pens on there, which is really cool. It also has my geo in it, which is really cool. So yeah, check that out when it releases, because it's going to be good. It'd be nice to have a mod map on Mod Hub that actually has grazing, because not all of them do. So last load of milk, we are over £500,000, and it would have been really nice to pay this off of the loan, but we need to buy some chickens, so that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to buy some chicken food as well. We're going to use the farm supply pack again. I'm going to buy a big trailer to move it rather than using that little one that we did last time. Going to go for the base game Load King drop deck. So it looks a lot like the one we used before, but just base game, £45,000. Probably use it for some other things as well, like moving kit down to the mega field. We're going to use universal auto load, and I kind of screw things up here. So there is actually this trailer, because its base game is built into universal auto load, they come pre-configured to work with sensible amounts of stuff. I wasn't happy with the sensible amounts of stuff, so I end up editing the size of the load area so that I can put more on and do fewer trips. I did a dumb. I'm just checking what I need to buy for the chickens. So we need to get some maize, some soybeans, some sorghum, and some sugar beet. But yeah, I wasn't happy with how many pallets I get on this trailer in a moment. We'll see in a second. Loki is pretty sensible. He put a nice sensible amount of pallets on the trailer. Maybe the height could have been more generous, but yeah, you know, buying a decent amount because we're going to get another 5,000 chickens, so it's going to be quite a lot of feed to use. We're unfortunately, I think, going to back through the hedge of the shop. They were cool about it. They didn't mind. So yeah, nice sensible positioning. I mean, first, if I'd manually loaded these, I would have probably gone too wide, and I end up going too wide. Yeah. No, that's probably pretty sensible. We've got one stuck. Now I think it's been hooked up on the straps. So, yeah, it's probably pretty sensible, you know. I would have maybe gone too high. As it is, I went too wide and too high. So, we're going to buy the pallets of soybeans. I think I'll buy about the same amount. I think it's about 8 pallets. No, more than that. 12 pallets. So that's quite a lot of weight on the trailer as well. Yeah, because these are 5,000 litre pallets. They're 3.6 tons each. And I have 24 of them on the trailer. What's that? 24 times 4, essentially 96 tons. I'm pretty sure that's over the weight limit of all UK roads. Yeah, and you'll see the result of that in a moment. But And I think, as I said, if I'd loaded this trailer manually, I would have probably gone 2 pallets wide and 2 pallets high anyway, which is what I've edited auto load to attempt to do. It kind of struggles to get some of them close together, which is maybe why Loki's much more sensible when he sets them up. I was not. So we're going to load silly amounts on. Yeah. It's not good for this poor little truck at all. Not at all. I think I end up using a little bit of super strength here to get the last ones to load up. And yes, we are doing 2 miles an hour. With the front wheels sliding like crazy. Did make it there in the end. It took quite a while. I cut out quite a big chunk, but we are here. You can see there is no weight on the front wheels. This truck doesn't have the option, but if we had the option to move the 5th wheel forward, that would have probably helped a lot. Now, I would like to upgrade the truck at some point, but I really need to focus on paying the loan off. So maybe if one pops up in the sales, we could get a trade in. I mean, this one was cheap and it's done most of the things we need to do. And what I'm actually going to do is get the store to deliver the pallets of food down to here in future, just to save us a bit of cash. Where I went out and edited the trailer, I need to restart Courseplay. Want to keep that going, so that basically I need to get that to get far enough ahead that it's done most of the job before we come along and do the fertilizing, because the fertilizer spreader is 4 times wider on max width than the lime spreader, so, and it runs a bit quicker as well. So it's yeah, we're going to spread fertilizer much quicker than it's spreading lime, so it would be nice if they finish at about the same point, basically. So yeah, I've had, I think, 4 pallets of sorghum and about 8 of beets delivered. I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but from my testing of chickens, from supply pack food is cheap enough that we'll be making money off of the eggs that we're getting, and we're going to end up getting an awful lot of eggs. Not sure how many, but it's going to be a lot. I've not really done much with chicken farming in FS ever, I don't think. Did a little bit on the survival series. I have some on the on Furling on the Patreon series, but not this kind of scale. Not this scale at all. So yeah, you can see the truck recovering as the weight goes off. It's pretty funny. I do like how the suspension and the weight is modelled in 22, and the fact that auto load keeps the weight on the trailer. It's not like some of the auto loads in FS19 where if you auto loaded, the things weren't real and so they didn't weigh anything. And some of them, and I think I've seen Kartek do this in 22 with one of his auto load trailers. Bales aren't real, and so you can double load bales. Very DJ Go Ham move, Kartek. Very DJ Go Ham of you. Yeah. I like that the weight is real on these, and although the truck didn't like that the weight was real, so. Anyway, that's the food in the silo, so we now need to go and get the chickens. I'm going to do what I did before. I'm not going to sit and click 5,000 times to buy chickens, or even doing them in blocks of 60, so we're going to just double check the price again and then jump out and do it in XML, and then I'll pay the cash. So £55 a chicken times 5,000 chickens is £2,750,000 worth of chickens. That seems ridiculous to me, but you know, it's what it is. So hopefully this will pay off. I'm not planning to sell any of the chickens that we get, but we'll see. So where I've got this working now, and particularly where the pallet spawn area is full, because it's full of pallets of clothes, I'm going to put the bits of fabric that we have in so that they can process as well. And that way we'll get even more clothes and more money. So one of the things that I spoke about in the last time that I did this is probably, I'm going to skip through now to about February, I think. The slight complication there for me is we're going to produce a lot of stuff and make a fair bit of cash, and showing you guys where that's all come from is, I don't want to just suddenly reappear the next episode and go, oh look, we've paid off half of the loan, things are cool. I don't think it'll be that extreme, but yeah, so any suggestions on how you might like that done? I'm thinking that probably I'll just show the finances page when I start back up. I think that covers like 4 months, so hopefully that will work, because the BGA is going to be working, we're going to be processing slurry. I could keep all of the milk, but yeah, certainly, the BGA is going to be processing slurry. We're going to be making money off of that. We're going to be selling fertilizer from the BGA digestate drying. So there's going to be a lot of stuff bringing income in. There's going to be chicken eggs. We're going to be buying chicken feed. So I think probably I'm just going to show the kind of finances summary page. And any loan repayment I will save until I come back. Base game pallet hooks do magic. I have no idea why that jumped on there. I was quite glad, because at the point where I was trying to do this, I also had a dog that wanted a fuss and a stroke. So yeah, I was paying attention to the Welsh Collie and not loading the pallets up. So I'm kind of pleased that actually did jump on there. Anyway, you can see the lime spreader has done a pretty good job of getting quite a way through. Refilled the fert spreader on the back of the T6. If you're curious, this is a methane-powered T6 that is, I think, available on my Discord still. This is an edit to the base game T6 that I did. Weirdly, the blue power variant is built into the base game T6, just not accessible, which I thought is really weird. So I've used that, and with some kind of custom decals, to make a version of the real-world methane-powered T6. It works really well on here for me because I generate lots of methane, and so rather than selling some of it, we use it to fuel one of our tractors. Got a couple of others on there as well. There's an old Case Magnum which has been converted to run on electric. So that's kind of cool as well. Kind of like that one. Haven't used it much. I've used it mostly in tutorials for stuff, but yeah, it's kind of fun. So they are in I think the My Mods section of my Discord, so go check those out if you're interested. And yeah, we're just now going to crack on with getting this big field fertilized up to optimal level. I'm not going to go any further. I could have. Obviously, we're going to be planting maize, so that's going to need a lot more fertilizer in the spring. But I'll probably do it then. Just trying to think, do we have a planter? Don't think we do. I think I leased the planter last time to work with the 8RX, where we've got the paddle tanks on it. I think I used one that worked with that. Probably do that again this year. So yeah. Also, Kartik and I were chatting about using 2-track tractors on balers, and I was saying how I use the big class on here to run the baler, and one of the guys on YouTube commented that he is a farmer in Canada, and they run an 8RT on a baler. So you can use a 2-track tractor on a baler, and it is not ridiculous. So I take that as full justification in the future to have my stupid tractor on Green Valley, Nebraska, running the baler. So pre-warning, Kartek. Although I don't think we're going to be doing baling for a while on there, because we've not got anything that needs baling until the grass grows again. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I really love when you guys drop in really random, cool, real-world farming stuff for me to chat about. I haven't actually been messing on ChatGPT too much recently. It's I did ask it some really random questions about horsepower and beaver power. Partly linked to the Timberborn stuff, and partly because we were just randomly chatting on Discord. And I managed to convince ChatGPT to tell me how to convert horsepower to beaver power, and also how to convert litres per hectare into cougars per football field. Yeah. I was bored one day, so I was going to put GPS on, but we're just going to kind of double up when we get to that bit. Precision farming will take care of it. And you can see we're covering ground much quicker than the lime spreader. I think we run a couple of miles an hour faster, 5 miles an hour faster, in fact, nearly, and nearly 4 times the working width. So, yeah, we are going to catch them up and probably overtake them. In fact, we have overtaken them. That's not a problem. The only downside is it means we'll have part of the field that looks like it's got lime on it until some growth happens, and then it should be fine. I chucked a trailer load of each feed in each of the chicken sheds. I'll sort it out properly later on. I just wanted to put something in there so they didn't die, and so they started getting some health and producing eggs. So yeah, I'll sort that out off camera properly. It's this took quite a long time in real world time. It always does with doing stuff on this big field, and you know, me talking about you can see off in the distance there are 2 more plots of land that make up this wildlife area, and I have considered buying another one and extending this field even further. We'll have a bunch of trees we would need to chop down, but the land's quite cheap, so it's really just the work. The reason I did this is the land is significantly cheaper than farmland, obviously, because it needs work on it. I'm curious as to what you guys think about whether we should extend into the next plot along here, or both plots. Again, I'm going against what I've just said about not wanting to spend money because we need to pay the loan off, but I think between the milk, the slurry going into the BGA, producing electricity, methane and digestate, the digestate being dried into fertilizer, the wool going into clothes now, and the chickens and the eggs, I think we're going to start making a lot of profit. So I think we've had to spend a bit of money, but I think that's going to make us much more profitable. So yeah, I'm just, I don't know, it just looks like it needs something doing with it. Yeah, and we could play with some of the DLC kit to chop all the trees down and stuff, which kind of has me tempted. It would be cool if the other trees grew in for spring, and then we could do it all in one hit. I guess we'll see. I was going to end the video at this point, so there's a nice little pause, and I'm going to try and do it at the end when I'm recording, so that I can do the outro. But I then decided, actually, I want to show paying off some of the loan, because we've got a couple £100 in the bank, and that is a nice amount to pay off. So the class is back at the farm. It needs a good clean. There's a lot of stuff that needs a clean and a service over the winter on the farm, like the Deutz, which is sat waiting for a 20 grand service, which is kind of expensive and annoying. But we're going to pay it off, 200 grand off the loan, just so we're not paying interest on that extra bit of cash. It's a shame it couldn't be 250, because that would have got us down to 7.5 million, but we're going to get down to 7,550,000. We're making progress. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Comments, questions, answers to the things that I've asked down below. And if you're new and you aren't already, think about subscribing, turning on notifications, and I will see you next time on Greenlands.